As the 2011 ASEAN People's Forum came to a close yesterday, Thai news agency's Panu Wongcha-um interviewed Phil Robertson, the Deputy Director of the Asia Division of the Human Rights Watch, who spoke about the challenges ahead for the transformation of ASEAN into a people-centered community. More in this report.
ASEAN is in danger of alienating its people. This was the message from many of Southeast Asia's civil society group, echoed by Phil Robertson, the Deputy Director of the Asia Division of the Human Rights Watch, who attended the 2011 ASEAN People's Forum, recently concluded in Jakarta on May the 5th. Robertson told us that the meeting was disrupted at times by officials from some ASEAN member countries.
Unfortunately, this year there's been some disturbances, and the disturbances have been led by what we call gongos, government-organized NGOs. And in this case, particularly from Vietnam, over 60 gongo representatives, people coming from organizations that very few people have ever heard of, have been coming. And during the plenaries on the second day, they were trying to disrupt the proceedings by lining up so that they would be the only ones to be able to ask questions. And using the opportunity in some cases to either defend the record of the government of Vietnam or actually attack other delegates verbally. For instance, some of the exiled Vietnamese groups, saying that these people were not representatives of Vietnam, or not true representatives of the Vietnamese people, and why were they being allowed in. This is very worrisome.
The disruptions in many ways signify how many governments in ASEAN do not want to involve the region's non-governmental organizations and civil society groups in the decision-making process.
The governments in ASEAN, many of the governments, I can't say all of them, but many of the governments still don't get the concept of a people's ASEAN. They don't understand the aspect of the charter saying that, in fact, people's voice and people's participation should be in all decisions in ASEAN. For them, we're still talking about the old ASEAN. We're still talking about the government's club. And in this group, I would lump Vietnam, Laos, Burma, Cambodia, Brunei, when they actually attend meetings. Often they're not present, although they'll be here this time. But, and frankly, these governments really need to change their views and understand that the ASEAN Charter contains clear language on human rights and upholding international human rights standards. And this is a new ASEAN. They have to change the way that they operate.
Robertson also highlighted how the ASEAN Intergovernmental Commission on Human Rights, or AICHA, is very slow and bureaucratic in its approach to human rights issues in the region. What is more disturbing, according to the Human Rights Watch, is that some member countries of ASEAN may want to resurrect the outdated concept of Asian values into the contemporary human rights discourse of the region.
We're very concerned, based on what we're hearing, for instance, from Vietnam and from Laos, that when AICHA drafts what they have to put together in the next year, which is an ASEAN Declaration on Human Rights, which will be forwarded for the review and approval of the ministers of foreign affairs. We're concerned that they will come out with something that does not comply with international human rights standards, and that some of the governments here may, in turn, try to reopen the stale debate on Asian values, trying to argue for a separate set of human rights values that are specific to Asia. We settled this question back in 1993 in Vienna. Some of the governments in ASEAN weren't paying attention. And the fact that they're trying to reopen this is profoundly disturbing. So we hope that AICHA will do better, but so far we're not confident, based on what we've seen, that they can be better. And we wish them well, but if they continue down this path, they're just going to open themselves up for a greater international criticism, and it will be well deserved.
From the point of view of civil society groups in Southeast Asia, the development so far in the area of human rights represent and reflect the distance that ASEAN still has to go in being more inclusive in its organization and in community building. And this could hamper regional integration in the future. I'm Panu Wongcha-um of Thai News Agency, reporting for ASEAN TV from Jakarta, Indonesia.